All right. So this is officially the official first class of our 3D printing, 3D design, or 3D modeling class. So like I said, what I want to do for a little while is just go back through doing a quick walkthrough of the general Fusion environment. By now, you should have been able to get your accounts all set up, as well as join the our working teams. To switch, just a reminder, to switch between that is going to be your very upper left-hand corner here. This little grid pattern here says show data panel. This is where you can swap between the team. And if you click that, you should have your single user storage. That's your personal stuff. And then our team. And the thing that what should bring you right to when you accept that invitation, this will not be it because this is from last semester. Let me hit home. Yours will bring up the spring 2022, blah, 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 blah. And for each assignment, there will be a folder generated. Well, I will generate one. And this inside of there will be where you're saving all your stuff. Now, you are very welcome to save on your own account and then copy over to the team account, or you're welcome to work directly on the team account. It's really whatever works best for you. But this is where your general area of where you can either upload individual files or images and such. I can create new folders, and over here is where all the peoples are. So that is the main access point. Over here are or on the rest of the left, your standard file operations, the save point, and front and back. Now, just a reminder, everybody, Fusion saves on the cloud. Not only you can save stuff locally to your own computer, but the default is to save to the cloud, to the whatever folder you are choosing on their server. Benefit of that is you can sign into any computer that has Fusion logged in, or rather uploaded, and you can access all of your files directly. The other thing, you do not have to save different iterations of your own files with like different numbers and such. If you look on the bottom right-hand corner of whatever file you've generated, you'll see this little drop down that says on this one V2. You click that, you'll see a couple of different versions, both by me, because it's the thing I was working on. You can cycle through different versions. Now, if you are planning on doing something drastically different to one file, say you start with like a single model and then you want to really do some different stuff to it, yeah, it would be best to save that to, all right, this is now going to go that way, this is going to go that way. Fine. But you can save through different versions, and how that version gets generated is when you automatically save. Fusion will auto-save, but also it will only begin auto-saving once you have started the save file. So with this, I'm going to say, just going to start a save. Example, in class overview. A new piece will pop up. Now, anytime I manually save through either the dropdown or just Control S, or if you're on Mac, Command S, now it will start generating different versions. But until you start the save, so meaning that don't work with it untitled. First thing you should do when you start a new file, save it. Start your save, work from there. Way too many times I have started working and just ran right through and realized I hadn't saved it all. And what do we all know what happens when you don't do that? Something happens, you lose the whole damn thing. Sometimes you can recover it, but also depends on when the last autosave was. It might have just been an autosave. It might have auto-saved an hour. I forget how often it does, but it might have been 10, 20 minutes ago, and you lost all of the major details you were just doing. So make sure to begin your project whenever you open one. First thing you should do, save it, title it, all that fun. And at least then it will begin auto-saving. But as always, save often. Okay. Other stuff, doing the general walk around on the left side here. This is your design pattern. This will bring up other areas. The good thing, one of the things I really like about Fusion is that if you mouse over anything, a pop-up window will pop up or appear that will describe what you are mousing over. So it's very helpful with that, especially as you're just learning. So I don't even know what this is. Oh, okay, cool. It at least describes that. For the most part, we are really going to be using just the design workspace. We will go over the render workspace, which is where you can fully render, which is creating a full detailed image of whatever appearance and such you've applied to your model. But those are pretty much what we're going to be working. Other stuff either requires additional pay, or it's just stuff we just simply don't have time to get into. But there are some really cool stuff within Fusion, like this generative workspace. You can design a product or an object, and it can calculate if this were to be printed or manufactured, where you could reduce material physically and still have the same kind of structural strength, things like that. Really nice engineering aspects to this. On the other side, all the way to the right, this is where all the way to the right at the top, this is where your account stuff goes. You click your Autodesk account, it will open a web browser and take you to your actual the actual account. Next, help is obviously help. Notification, this is where you'll get, what do you know, notification. Job status, it's a little clock. Check Fusion, especially as we meet weekly. I would recommend at least opening Fusion sometime earlier that day. Fusion regularly updates, might be minor, might be major, but you don't want to get stuck waiting to get started. And then, well, now it's going to take like 20 minutes for the thing to upload or to update and restart. So I'd recommend restarting at least once a week, or sorry, not restarting, but opening Fusion, it will automatically update. There's those. And then there's extensions, we're not going to get into that. General viewpoints and such, or general view commands. If you don't have a mouse, I highly recommend one. You will have some stuff that will be locked out, or rather much more difficult to access. Yes, a touchpad works perfectly well, and you can operate just fine with that. But with a mouse, it will work a lot easier. For moving around your actual viewpoints, in the upper right-hand corner of the actual workspace, there's this cube here. This is how you can select different views. If you are used to working with, or if you've ever seen any other CAD programs, you may have seen instead of one single viewport, there's multiple viewports, usually 4. If you look down at the very bottom in the center, that's where it says viewports. You can select there, it will change over to your viewports. Now you will have top, usually front, right or left, I forget, and then your perspective. Switching back, shift 1. You just have perspective. You can operate by clicking this view cube. Say, I just want to work from the front. You can rotate. You can orbit, anything like that. If you get kind of lost, or you just want to go right back to 3/4 view, click the little home symbol, and it will take you to 3/4 perspective. To orbit and pan, if you click and hold your center button or mouse wheel, that is how you can pan. Or as you see, now that I've clicked that in the bottom center of the commands there, the screen, the little hand icon is highlighted blue. That's showing you that it has pan active. Release, and it does that. If you want to orbit, you can select that and orbit around your object. Again, you get lost, hit escape to get out of the command. Press home, or press and hold shift, then press the mouse key or the mouse wheel. That's how you can orbit without. Again, back to home, there you go. So those are the general ways you're going to be moving around. Zoom is controlled with the mouse wheel. It's reversed, or you can of course use in the center bottom. Zoom allows you to in and out. Escape. Home button. There you go. All right. The other aspects are going to be your hierarchy tree here in the left-hand side, or left-hand corner of your general workspace. This is where you'll see the actual project you're working on. And then these drop downs will allow you to expand and collapse or delete, whatever, manipulate the elements of your project. Now, right now, there's only a few options. As we build more complex things, there will be more elements to your hierarchy tree. The highest element will be the top here, and this is all a component. Now, effectively, how these work, pardon me, never have this one I actually need. Highest one is a component, if I can spell, and that is the little individual cube symbol. As we build other elements within this component, can be sketches, your drawings from those sketches can be bodies. So your sketches are 2D elements. There you go. Your bodies are 3D elements. D, not B. That's a new dimension. Basically, that's the easiest way to remember it. Your components are created by sketches, 2D elements, bodies, 3D elements. Or is that all there is? Not at all. But that's what it'll be. You can nest multiple components within your main, and they will all be made up of their own same stuff. Just different ways you can stack stuff. But for right now, we're going to work with the one main component, and we'll be developing sketches tonight, and then developing those sketches into 3-dimensional bodies. That's pretty much the breakdown of how we're going to work tonight. Let's see here. At the very bottom here, as you build things within your sketch or within your project, this bottom line down here will build with different details of what you've done, different actions. That is your timeline. You can slide back and forth through your timeline. You can drop back in time and splice other things in. So as you learn more and as you build more complex objects or components rather, you can splice in other commands that might need to occur before something else. So you can drop one, you can move the time slider over and just start a new command that will start it, or you can also slide things before one or the other. So you don't have to like restart a fresh command. You can move one before and after, and you can suppress commands. Mainly that is therefore you will find out through your workflow, which is really just your order of operations, order of steps that you have taken to create a more complex object. You'll find that some things need to happen before the other, or just in different order, or different orders rather. So order of operations. That's pretty much the basic rundown. We're going to walk through the tools and such. The main thing we're going to use for tonight is the sketch. Mouse over. This is your create sketch. This is how you start your 2-dimensional works and such. So that's your pretty much quick run through of the interface. And let's stop here and see what anybody has.